Welcome back to The Lonely Star, everyone. Today we're diving into something pretty wild, something that could completely upend how we view ancient history.
Oh, yeah. And what's that?
Well, our research suggests there may be this massive, hidden underground complex in Egypt.
Hold on. Like an entire complex underground.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
And according to our sources, Italian researchers are the ones who stumbled upon it.
Wow.
Yeah, and get this, they're saying it's so significant, so groundbreaking, that it could change how we understand ancient civilizations, maybe even force mainstream science to rethink everything.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What makes them think it's such a big deal?
Well, think about it. What comes to mind when you picture the pyramids, the learner?
I guess. Massive structures, lots of workers, primitive tools, the classic image.
Right, exactly. We're taught that it was all about brute force, thousands of laborers toiling away with simple tools. But what if that's not the whole story?
Hmm. Okay, I see where you're going with this. You're thinking this complex might point to a more advanced civilization than we give them credit for.
Precisely. What if the ancient Egyptians, or maybe even a civilization before them, were far more sophisticated than we imagine?
Fascinating. Our research does hint at that. It talks about a civilization with technology that would absolutely blow our minds. It even mentions a great flood, a global event that could have wiped out most of their knowledge and progress. It's like a lost chapter in history, buried beneath the sands of time.
And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. We're going to delve into the mysteries, examine the evidence, and ask the tough questions. What if history, as we know it, is incomplete? What if some of those fringe theories are actually closer to the truth than we realize?
All right, let's dig in. Where do we even begin with something this monumental?
Well, I think the first step is to examine the discovery itself. Our primary source mentions this underground complex in Egypt, unearthed by Italian researchers. Now, they don't go into detail about its size or what's inside, but they make it very clear that it's a game changer.
A game changer, huh? What kind of discovery could shake the very foundations of our understanding of the past like that?
Hmm.
What would it take to really make mainstream science question everything?
Right. It has to be something truly extraordinary. Maybe technologies we can't even comprehend, or structures built with a precision we can't replicate even today.
Yeah, I can see that. And speaking of shaking foundations, our sources are quite adamant about challenging the conventional narratives surrounding the construction of the pyramids. They flat out state that the pyramids were not built by primitive Egyptians using primitive tools.
Whoa. Talk about a bold claim. I mean, that goes against everything we've been taught about ancient Egypt.
Absolutely. But it's a question that's been nagging at researchers for centuries. How did they manage to create structures of that scale with such incredible precision using the tools we assumed they had? It's a mind-boggling feat of engineering, even by today's standards.
And that's where this underground complex comes in. Could it be the missing piece of the puzzle? A clue that points to a completely different level of technological advancement.
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
And the theory that emerges is pretty wild. Our research suggests that both the pyramids and this underground network were built by a civilization that predates a massive global flood.
A pre-flood civilization. Whoa, hold on. You're talking about a technologically advanced society that existed before a worldwide cataclysm.
Exactly. Imagine that, a society capable of feats we can only dream of, wiped out by a catastrophic flood. The source even says we'd be absolutely shocked if we could witness their technological prowess firsthand.
That's incredible. What kind of technology are we talking about here? Mastery of energy, advanced materials, and what could have caused such a devastating flood that it erased almost all traces of this civilization?
Those are some big questions, and honestly, we don't have all the answers. But it does make you think, doesn't it? The cyclical nature of history, the possibility of lost knowledge rediscovered. It's a fascinating concept. This idea of a pre-flood civilization isn't just limited to our sources. It actually pops up in myths and legends all over the world. Stories of golden ages and great deluges.
Huh. Like a shared memory of some ancient catastrophe passed down through generations.
Maybe. It really makes you wonder.
And things get even wilder when we consider Joseph Farrell's Giza Death Star theory. Now, for those who haven't heard of it, this theory proposes that the Great Pyramid wasn't a tomb at all, but some kind of powerful machine, maybe even a weapon, harnessing something called paleophysics.
Paleophysics, what in the world is that?
It's a bit of a mind bender. Think of it as a hypothetical ancient understanding of physics, maybe involving principles or forces that we haven't even discovered yet. It suggests that these ancient civilizations might have known things about the universe that we're only starting to grasp now.
Whoa. So you're saying they might have been more scientifically advanced than us in some ways?
It's definitely within the realm of possibility, according to some researchers. And while our source doesn't explicitly say that this underground complex was part of this Death Star system, the reference alone raises some serious questions. What if this network was a power source, a control center? The possibilities are mind-blowing.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting how this all ties into another point our research brings up. The skepticism toward mainstream science's resistance to considering evidence that challenges the accepted narrative.
Right. They talk about these out-of-place artifacts found around the world, objects that seem to defy our understanding of how technology developed.
Exactly. And they present this underground complex as another piece of the puzzle, further evidence that our view of history might be too linear, too limited.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why are we so quick to dismiss anything that doesn't fit neatly into our existing theories? Is it fear? A need for absolute certainty? Or maybe just a reluctance to rewrite the history books?
Probably a combination of factors. The scientific method relies on rigorous evidence and testability, which is important. But some argue that it can also lead to a bias against anything that challenges the status quo.
That's a good point. And it brings us to a central question. What was the purpose of this underground complex? Now, our research admits that we don't have a definitive answer. They even say that we can't really know for sure because the technology involved is so different from anything we have today.
So we're left with speculation, with trying to piece together clues based on what little we know. But even without understanding the specifics of their technology, the very fact that they built something like this tells us a lot.
Exactly. It speaks to a highly organized society with immense resources and incredible engineering skills. To undertake a project of this scale underground suggests a level of sophistication that goes far beyond basic survival needs.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder about their motivations, their understanding of the world, what was so important to them that they invested such time and effort into this massive underground complex.
And here's another intriguing thought. Our research goes on to speculate that if there's a complex like this in Egypt, there are probably similar structures elsewhere around the world.
Wait, are you suggesting a global network of ancient sites hidden beneath our feet?
It's a mind-boggling possibility. Imagine the implications for our understanding of ancient travel, communication, the spread of knowledge. It would completely rewrite our view of the past.
Wow. It suggests a level of global interconnectedness we haven't even considered. It's like piecing together a giant puzzle. Well, I've only just found a few pieces.
So, the learner, what are we to make of all this? A massive underground complex in Egypt, whispers of a pre-flood civilization, wielding technologies beyond our imagination, pyramids that might be something far more than tombs. It's a lot to absorb.
It is. But one thing's for sure, it opens up a world of possibilities, challenges us to think beyond the conventional, and reminds us that history is always being rewritten as we uncover new evidence.
Exactly. It's a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is an ongoing journey, full of surprises and the potential for incredible discoveries. It's about asking questions, challenging assumptions, and never stopping exploring the unknown.
And who knows what other mysteries are waiting to be uncovered, what other chapters of history are yet to be written.
Well, that's something to ponder, isn't it? Thank you for joining us on The Lonely Star for this deep dive into the mysteries of ancient Egypt. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring. Goodbye.
The truth is stranger than fiction.